along with that is, I think I just said it, is, you know, establishing my shopping list, you know. I've never really done that. I've always been like go into the aisle type of girl that, you know, shop when I'm hungry, get what I want, and then I get home and I don't have the things I need, you know. So, you know, and that goes with clothing and stuff along that. So that way I can start establishing, you know, some responsibility in the areas of taking care of myself and taking care of my areas.
So it sounds like you kind of want to take care of the basic needs that you need for yourself, some of that,
Yep.
that food and some of that clothing.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe our budget, some of the things we'll do with that is a shopping list and do a shopping list. And what else could you do with that shopping list?
I just think the shopping list is probably
Okay.
the key, in the sense that it just, you know, buying stuff that is needed for me to survive and, you know, needed for me to, you know, with my COPD, to make sure that, you know, I'm eating well and
Okay.
providing my body with the appropriate, I guess, nutrients.
Okay.
So
maybe it sounds like we're talking about a shopping list, but it kind of also sounds like you're talking about a meal plan. So before we get started on that, let's go back to that shopping list. So it sounds like you want us to have that shopping list to live within that budget you created.
yes.
Okay.
So I mean, when I mean like what I'm buying is really focused on the shopping list of, you know, like right now the RCF buys stuff. You know, I mean, I need to be able to start providing for myself and knowing what I need to eat and dress and wear, and I need to start doing that. So that's what I mean by a shopping list, is just being able to.
So that's for food, clothes.
Yeah, you know, just everything, you know, and I'm not saying that I gotta have a shopping list, you know, in my back pocket every 2 seconds, but I do need to, you know, part of that organization stuff is be able to sit down and go, you know, well, what do I need, you know, and
Okay.
what is needed for me in the different aspects of my life, from physical to, you know, even the social piece. You know, am I gonna go to a movie, or
Okay.
am I gonna go spend, you know, or me and Sally gonna go down to and buy a magazine from the store? I mean, it's just really that
Okay.
big, I
So
guess.
with that particular task, because I know that sometimes in the RCFs, they are kind of scheduled with their things. So do you think
Yes.
that maybe a shopping list, whether it be for food or for clothing or your extra activities, or would you be able to commit to doing that possibly weekly?
Yes, I think that, and that's kind of where I was kind of heading with it. I think me doing it weekly could do a couple things. One, it could say, oh, I just ain't got the money for all this. Or two is, okay, this is reasonable, and I have to decide and you know, going back to, I guess your word was self-worth.
Yes, that's exactly what I was writing down for
getting
yours.
back to me feeling, you know, like this is my life. You know, I mean, I appreciate everybody, you know, that's working with me to do well, but you know, it's my life, and I have to get to where I can manage it. So getting that self-worth or feeling good about myself is what it creates.
So it sounds like our real ultimate goal is going to be working on self-value and self-worth.
Yeah.
And then maybe some of our objectives are going to be working on the organization and then working on a financial aspect of it. So
Yep.
we can have a couple different objectives underneath that ultimate goal.
Yeah, and I think that sounds a lot better than coping skills.
Okay.
To be honest with you,
Okay.
I think that self-worth is, I think that's, because you know, once again, when I think of coping skills, I just think of, you know, I'm doing something to deal with something else, and it's more about me reclaiming me, you know.
Absolutely, I completely understand that. So with these things about the appointments and budgeting and shopping lists, do you know of any available resources in your community that you can use to do that or to assist you in that process?
I know there's there's a few stores not too far from us, and you know, I know that they're very helpful. You know, when I've gone in there, I imagine I could ask, you know, Roger, who's one of the guys that works at the grocery store down there. I think he'd be willing. It's a mom and pop grocery store but he's always been willing to kind of walk down the aisle with me to kind of help.
That's awesome.
Me
So
find-
that sounds like that's maybe another support we could add to our.
Yeah,
department.
and I didn't even think of that, to be
Okay.
honest with you, but yeah, and that, and and then even some of the, clothing stores around there, when I was, getting out to get the outfits, or a pair of pants, or a shirt that I got, I could utilize those individuals to help me shop better,
Okay.
And I think another resources, I am old, but I'm getting kind of savvy on the computer that they have at the RCF, and I could possibly do some online shopping.
Yes, that's great.
And it delivers there, and that limits even though I know I need to be walking more, it would limit the exhaustion of walking a lot and stopping because I can't catch my breath. It would help with that.
Absolutely. Those are all great points that you make. So what I'm going to do is we kind of decided that self-worth and values are our ultimate goal.
Okay.
Sounds like we have two objectives. One's for organization and one's for budgeting.
Okay.
Do you agree, or is there something that we need to add or something you would change?
No, I don't know. I guess maybe I just think budgeting is part of the organization.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because for me, budgeting is.
Well, if we were to combine both of those, what word would you do you think it would work?
The ability to, organize aspects of my life to include financial would be possibly.
So it sounds like our objective may be to financially and physically.
Yes.
Financially and physically, okay.
Because, one is, I guess by trying to, if I separate them, then, I get the budget figured out, but if I'm not organized, I don't follow through. So I think the budget follows right under the organization. But, I mean, we could break it apart. I mean, if that.
You're more comfortable with having them together, and I'd rather have them together since that's something you're more comfortable
Okay,
with.
and then if I feel that later on, that it's probably more smarter to break them apart, can we do that?
Absolutely. We can
Okay.
change these goals if let's say that in a month from now you have some kind of crisis or something else going on, holidays are coming up, we can deal with that as well as
Okay.
it comes. So this is not, we can change it, we can work with it. If we need to mark everything off that list and completely come with a new goal, or we need to hang on to one goal and work with that, we can do that. So it's really
Okay.
going to be about what mode and pace works best for you.
Okay.
So our objective is financially and physically what? So we're financially and physically going to what? Because we're gonna. Sounds like we might be documenting some of the stuff in your planner, right?
Yeah, we're gonna. I think those are the tools. I mean, I guess in some ways I got to show you and show the facility that I'm doing this. So I mean, the planner I think is probably one of the great ways for me to do that.
Okay.
So I think is, financially and physically going to, financially, how could I put this, financially and physically? Gaining control or gaining a hold on, my life, and almost in some sense, and by utilizing, I'm hoping to get all this done within a short period of time. I'm not looking at.
Okay.
I mean, I could start working this now, and within 4 to 6 months, I think I could have a hold on it pretty well.
Okay. So it sounds like in 4 to 6 months you want to be done with this financial and physical.
Well, I think it's going to be ongoing. Like, I'm going to continually do it, but I think that what that does for me is it shows that I can meet these things that I need to do, and then I think that helps you. It helps my guardian. It helps the RCF. It helps everyone see that I'm ready to be independent.
Okay.
Or move out, or I'm not. I mean, if I can't get my organizational skills down from a physical standpoint, with what I have immediate control over in my where I live, and I can't shop, or I can't make a shopping list, or then the question would beg that should I really go out on my own?
Okay.
But this will give me really the insight and the courage to try that.
Okay. So let's go back to some of these tasks. 'Cause
Okay.
It sounds, we're gonna are to get some of that together. We're gonna schedule appointments, notify staff, write it in our planner. So it sounds like how we're gonna verify your progress is this planner. So from now on, I would definitely ask that you make sure that we bring that in and we can go over that together. We can discuss, all the great accomplishments that you're gonna achieve. So that'll be great. Now for this budget, are you aware that the Missouri Career Center has a class for budgeting?
I didn't know that.
I believe it's called Take Control of Your Finances.
Okay.
So you said that you were working on that computer. So if we set up a kind of a technical or computer savvy task, would you be able to accomplish that, you think?
If not, I imagine somebody at the RCF can help me kind of connect with that. So
Utilize your supports,
yeah.
absolutely. So how about we have one of the tasks to go to the Missouri Career Center website and create an account.
Okay.
So that's something, I can give you 2 weeks to do that. If you think that that's something that you can do, we can set that up.
No, that'd be fine.
Okay,
2 weeks.
so then the next thing would be to go ahead and enroll for that budget class. So that doesn't have to be in that next 2 weeks, but that's something to think about. You can play around on there, or if you're just bored one day, you can be like, hey, this is there.
I think I need to do it in the next month, to be
Next
honest
month,
with you.
okay. So we'll have this in the next 2 weeks, and then the budget class in the next month, so we'll say 4 weeks.
Okay.
And then after that, when do you think you'd be able to create a budget?
Hopefully by, after I take the class, hopefully I should have that done in, a month and a half,
Okay.
6 weeks.
So we'll do that in 6 weeks. Okay. So that sounds like that's some of our budgeting that we're gonna do.
Mhm.
And then we're also gonna do the shopping list weekly. When do you think you can start that?
I plan on starting, our sessions are normally on Thursdays, so maybe what I'll do is I'll have my shopping list established by Wednesday.
Okay.
So I can show you my shopping list on Thursday, maybe do my shopping on Friday.
Okay.
So at least and sometimes it may not be anything that I need, but at least I'll just get used to doing that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That sounds great.
Okay.
So I wanna make sure that you're utilizing those shopping lists. So we're gonna create shopping lists weekly.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you do that, you're gonna wanna use that shopping list. So to get from point A to point B, what are you gonna do?
Well, we talked about possibly using a little bit online. The other would be possibly, utilizing, my network to set up transportation. But, the grocery store from the RCF is really, it absolutely is in walking distance.
Okay.
Now the question is, I'm not gonna be able to carry a lot.
Okay.
But, if I work out a taxi or the RCF provides some transportation, I'll be able to do that. I'd like to do it on Friday, that way
Okay.
I bring the list, I create the list on Wednesday, I see you on Thursday, and then we talk about it that way. They said nothing else, you can say, well, do you really need a brand new 60-inch TV in your room,
Right.
So maybe we look at that, and then Friday I do my shopping.
Okay, so it sounds like we'll do the weekly shopping list, and then you'll notify or contact transportation to use,
Yes,
or
ma'am.
you'll use the option to shop online.
Yes.
Okay. I hear that you're also talking about walking a lot. Would you like to set up a goal for maybe increasing walking, or is that something that you think is?
My biggest thing, if we're gonna put that on a task, I just have to get up and walk at least 15 minutes a day.
Okay.
To start, because I haven't been, I've spent a lot of time not, just sitting in the RCF. I think so, starting at 15 minutes, and maybe what we can do is relook at this in a month, and because I might be doing more than that.
Okay, well, I wouldn't want to do it every day, because I have a goal to want to work out every day, and that doesn't work out myself. So how many days a week do you feel like you could commit to right now, wholeheartedly? Because you are going to have some of those days where you're not feeling so well, and your fibromyalgia or COPD, you've got something getting you down. So I want to make sure that we allow for you to have those days to take that time to recoup and regain yourself. So how many days per week do you think you can work with?
I'd like to do at least 3.
At least 3? Okay.
And more specifically, Friday's gonna be my shopping day, so I'm gonna walk on Friday.
Okay. That can definitely count.
Thursday, I'll be walking to get to where over here. I catch a little bit of transportation, but it is a little bit of a trek from where I get dropped off at.
Okay.
So Thursday would probably be another walking day for me, and then I'll just have to pick out probably Mondays,
So I'm not going to set a schedule of the days. I'm just going to say
Okay.
that it's 3 days a week, and then however you're able to do that and document that.
Okay.
For that. So is there anything else that you think that we can cover? Because I feel like we've got a lot of good tasks and some good objectives for our ultimate goal of working on self-value and self-worth.
No, I think that's fine.
Okay.
I think any more than that, I might be a little overwhelmed
Yes,
to
it
be able
can
to accomplish.
definitely get overwhelming. Okay, so what I'm gonna do with this particular thing, I've got some of my notes here. So what I'll do is I've kind of got all of our goals, our objectives, and our tasks written out for that. So what we'll do is I'm gonna actually have you look this over.
Okay.
And then if you would sign and date that, those are things that you believe that you can agree to. And that, I'm just really glad that we were able to identify those steps to complete that goal. And if you agree to follow through with those tasks, which is something that I've heard you kind of discuss with, so you don't have to do all these, you kind of space these out. So it looks like what we'll do for next week is that you'll go create the Missouri Career Center account, and then you'll also make a shopping list. And then we're going to start looking at doing some work. So, we've got quite a few things written down, but we have them spaced out to not actually overwhelm you. So out of this list, there's only 3 things that you'll actually be doing between now and our next session.
Yes.
So that's great. Do you have any questions about those?
No.
Since we officially made that. So I've had you sign and date this. What I'll do is I'll transfer that information onto the computer, type it up, mostly for professional appearance, put it in your file, pass that on to your guardian. And then we'll have you document everything in your planner and then make sure that you bring that next time. And next time I'll have you sign and date that final copy that I have to put that in the file. And if there's anything you feel like I've added or changed, you can let me know. Okay?
Okay.
So do you have any questions about this question?
No.
Okay. Any question about the task that we